the signs. That's why there's two kinds of in Quran. There's two kinds of murshads. There's murshad and murshid. There's a murshad and murshid. Murshad, he tells you that's the way. Left, right, go there. There. There's haq. That's a murshad. A murshid, he doesn't tell you the way. He's like a taxi driver. He says, jump in. I'll take you there. He says, jump in. I'll take you there. Why? I've been there. I know there. So therefore, anyway, so if you don't know the way to your destination, you find the signs, isn't it? Allah says, you come on this path, bahut jaldi, we will show you our signs. Where? Where are your signs? Now there's two places to find Allah's signs. Fil afaqi wa fi anfusihim. Allah. As far as the ulama zahir are concerned, they can understand finding Allah's signs in the afaq, in the universe. Why? There are many signs and there's many verses of the Quran. But look at Allah's sense of balance. देखिए, मैं आपको एक मिसाल देता हूँ. अगर मैं ये आपको कहूँ कि मैं आपको पूरे यूरोप की सैर कराऊंगा और ब्रेडफोर्ड वन की सैर कराऊंगा. If I say that I will give you a tour of the whole of Europe and BD1. I know here it goes by the postcode. Hadith of BD1. Anyway, that's after the surname. Anyway. Adi Mohammed said BD5. Adi Mohammed said, I said, okay, BD6 wale. Then you BD4 wale. Here it goes with the postcode. Anyway, so what was I saying? If I say to you that I will give you a tour of Europe and BD1. Okay, Europe and BD1 कोई मुकाबला है? हाँ, if I say to you, I will give you a tour of Europe and of Africa. मुकाबला है. Why? Europe is smaller than Africa, I think so. But मुकाबला है ना? Or for example, I say, I will give you £1,000,000 and I'll give you 1 pence. I think that will make you understand more. Money talks, anything. If I say, I will give you £1,000,000 and I'll give you 1 pence. If you're giving him £1,000,000, why does he need 1 pence? I can say, I will give you £1,000,000 and £1.2 million. That makes sense. Why? When you do taqabul and tawazun, the taqabul must be of similar weight. जब तकाबुल और तवाज़ुन करें तो जिसका तवाज़ुन किया जाए उनका हम पल्ला होना, they must be at least similar to each other. Allah says, I will show you my signs in the universe, وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ, and inside you. And inside you I will show. This is the difference between the Muslim and the scientist who seeks the truth. Why? Because the scientist seeks the truth in this universe using his aql. But the mu'min, just to tie it all together, the mu'min doesn't rely on his aql. Why? He knows his aql is subject to contamination. It's subject to intimidation, subject to change. So what does the mu'min rely on? When the mu'min sets on this journey, he doesn't rely on the aql that is here. Do you know how many sources of knowledge there are? Asbabul ilm. Asbabul ilm ke 5 sabab hai. Kitne sabab hai? Aap thak to nahi gaye? Agar thak gaye to should we just call it a day? I understand that you're not used to very long lectures. Should we just call it a day here? How many sources of knowledge are there? 5. The first source of knowledge, 5 senses. How do I know that this is hard? I touch. How do I know this is black? I see. First source of knowledge. Second source of knowledge is aql. What is it? 1 plus 1 equals?
2.
How do I know that? Aql. You don't see it, but you aql. So the second source of knowledge is? That's where science finishes. Science says Sadaqallahu finished. But यहाँ साइंस की इंतहा है और यहाँ मोमिन की इब्तिदा है. Why? Because where there is external 5 senses, there are also internal 5 senses. I could give many examples. On the day of judgment, a person will be given his record and he will be told, here you are, this is your record. And he will look on his record and he will say, Haji Muhammad Zain, BD 5. Acha. गलती हो गई है. He will say to the angel, there's a mistake here. Say, क्या गलती है? यहाँ लिखा हुआ है कि मेरी हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से मुलाकात हुई थी. वो तो 1400 साल पहले मेरे से. It says in my record I met the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He lived 1400 years before me. The angel will say, it's not a mistake. It's true. You did meet the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? When you met him in your dream, that wasn't a dream, that was real. Man ra'ani fil manam faqad ra'ani bil haqq. I could go into detail, but ये किस्सा मुख्तसर यहाँ है कि एक है ज़ाहिरी हवास खमसा और एक है बातनी हवास खमसा. So there is this eye and there is the inner eye, there is this touch and there is the inner touch. They are interconnected. That's the third source of knowledge. And there's a fourth source of knowledge. And what is that? What was the second source of knowledge? Aql. And there's a fourth source of knowledge. That's also called aql. But there are 2 aqls we have. एक अकल यहाँ है और एक अकल यहाँ है. There is one aql here and there is one aql here. There is one aql in the brain and there is one aql in the heart. Why? What is the difference between the 2? This aql is a calculator. If you tell it something, it will evaluate it. This aql doesn't calculate. Why? I went to the shop. I saw this. I liked it. I didn't read about it. I just liked it. Looks good. Fine. It'll do. How did I make that decision? I decided it was good. How do I make that? It wasn't made from here. It was made from here. No, you don't understand this misal. This misal is normally used when we select our marriage partners. We say, what do you want for? No. I'm not just simply saying in a superficial world. People come to me and say, I have to marry this person. Why? Because I love him. I love him. The same girl comes to me 2 years later and say, I want a divorce. So why? Says, because I don't love him anymore. So who do you love? Say, my next door neighbor. Acha? Fine. Take a divorce. Next year, you marry them 2 together. 3 years later, she's back again. Says, now what? She says, I'm not in love with him anymore. Now who are you in love with? Oh, I'm in love with the person on the other street. The concept of love that we have is the Hollywood and Bollywood concept. Why? Because we think that love is a superficial thing that is subject to our nafs. But no, love is something very different. Maybe another day we'll have a discussion on what real love is from the Quran and Sunnah. What Ghalib says, Ishq wa atish hai Ghalib lagaya na lage, bujhaye na bujhe. Real love never dies. Anyway, another thing. So, this aql is different from this aql. This aql is a calculator. This aql doesn't calculate. So where does this aql make its decision? You decide, you wake up in the morning, say, I'm not going to work today. Where did you make that decision? Why? You don't feel like going. Who made this decision for you? This aql made it for you.